Now, still on the topic of marriage, we have Abel, Mutua, and Judy, Nyawira, and this time they're talking about raising their teenage daughter. Now, for every parent out there, at some point, parent guardian, at some point you've had to have the conversation of the birds and the bees, where you have to tell your child about private parts, about cleaning themselves up, about not letting somebody touch you, not letting somebody take advantage of you, the names of these private parts. It's usually quite an interesting conversation to have with children. I've started having that conversation with my son, and instead of telling him this place is called susu or chuchu, you actually give it the term that is used to address it. This is your penis, this is the vagina, this is the this, so that if something, God forbid, was to happen, they would actually explain it eloquently. If they want something, if something is wrong, my vagina is itching, my penis is itching, they have to actually use the right terms. And it's something I've actually been, incorporating slowly by slowly. Right now, he's turning 5. I just can't wake up one morning and say, let me tell you about sex, let me tell you about intercourse. So it's just slowly telling them this information. And it's being the same journey for Judy and her husband. And she says, naturally, around the age of 6, her daughter was very interested in things that were happening around her. She'd see a pad and like, what are pads? What are this for? I've seen my son take my pads and use them to paint, or rather to wipe his paint. That's a painting project. He finishes up, goes, tears down a whole pad, wipes everything down and throws it out. I'm like, babes, that is not the purpose for the pads, okay? This is for girls. For girls only. Why is it for girls only? And now you have to explain, when girls become older, they go through this process and they have to, do menstruation and all of this. So it's usually a very difficult topic to navigate. The birds and the bees. What happens when you have unprotected sex? What happens when, you get to a certain age? Your body is changing, your body is growing. But explain it to them in very clear and concise terms. And also don't laugh at them. If a child comes and asks you something, please tell them. Even if you think it's stupid, they really don't. They genuinely do not know what's going on. So explain it and let it come from a place of love.
Yeah, I think the most difficult conversation to have with a child is the birds and the bees and sexual parts, because it's like you're always scared of, am I exposing them too early? Is this information I should really be giving them right now? Are they ready? And it always feels like you're about to traumatize them. But I think sometimes look at your child's curiosities. If it comes up, take advantage of that and educate them in the best way that you can. Even now, I still don't know how to explain it, but my niece still calls her behind a boom boom. And you completely understand it, because it's like she's so tiny. She's so small. You don't want to overexpose her to things, and then now she doesn't really, she can't go back. But at the same time, you want her to be keen enough to know, if somebody touches you there, you come tell me. If somebody does something funny to you, you come tell me. And actually, it's very problematic because it can be a shyness, even telling your children who can do what to them, right? Like, I've been told of a horror story that unfortunately still happened to my niece, but I'm just like, yeah, it's very difficult to tell them, because like, if it's someone who's supposed to take care of them, nobody else should touch you except your auntie because she's washing you, stuff like that. But what if it is the auntie who's actually doing bad things to them? How do you then find a way? It's I don't know.
It's difficult. Raising children is difficult.
Yeah.
And even last week, I remember having a conversation and telling my son, don't go into people's cars. And then he asked me, what if he has a suite? And I'm like, sir, even if they have a suite, don't go to their car. And what if they have a popsicle? I'm like, what do you mean? Do not talk to strangers. Don't go to strangers' cars. And I just drilled the information. Any conversation I start with, don't talk to strangers. Exactly.
Yeah.
You just have to keep on talking about it.
Honestly, it's really tricky. Being a mom, I don't know, there's a capacity for it. And I think I mean, Turi does such an amazing job with her son. it's wild.
Sometimes.
She's such a good mom. It's one of those beautiful things to watch. So yeah, I think, I don't know, find a way to navigate between you and your child. It's a very personal conversation. It's a very personal relationship as well, and it doesn't apply to everyone. Don't copy paste. Just learn your own child. And I think that's a conversation, unfortunately, we may not have today, but we will have it tomorrow